Okay. If you like Lego and you like cameras, especially super expensive cinema cameras like the Red Monstro, then you're gonna really like this video because I'm gonna show you how you can build a Lego version of a super expensive cinema camera. Okay, now if you were expecting it to be a fully functioning cinema camera, then sorry to break it to you, it is not. However, it is still a pretty detailed model if I do say so myself. The camera this is based off of is the Red Monstro 8K cinema camera, which is pretty expensive at around $50,000. But besides the camera, this model comes with 3 lenses: an ultra wide, a standard mid-range zoom like a 24-70, and a 24mm Laowa probe lens, which is my personal favorite just because it looks so cool. Another thing that looks really cool is seeing you smash the like button so these videos can reach and teach more people about stop motion. By the way, I did make a short version of this video, which I'll link up there, but I wanted to dive into more detail and show you guys actually what the different parts of the camera are and show you the different Lego parts and how to build it in just a more detailed format. So this is the completed camera, and then here are the 2 other lenses. Here's the 24-70 kind of mid-range lens, and here's the Laowa probe lens, and this is actually my favorite one, like I said earlier, just because of how wacky and cool it looks. And then the third lens, which is the wide angle lens, is on the camera right here. So I'm gonna disassemble all these, and then I'm gonna show you the parts, and then I'm gonna reassemble it and show you how to build it. I'm gonna set aside the lenses for now, because those are fairly simple to put together. So first we're going to build the body of the camera, and with a lot of cinema cameras, but especially with Red cinema cameras, they take a very modular approach to their cameras. So you'll have the main body, and then you'll be able to add on a handle and a viewfinder and a monitor, and you'll be able to add on all those little things to make it kind of whatever fits your needs. So first we're going to build the base of the camera, and that will be using the 2x3 tile. Now, I'm not a Lego expert and I don't know all the correct names for everything, but I'll try to give you the most accurate description of every piece. So this will be the top of the camera. And first, we're gonna take one of these 1x1 bricks with a stud on one side. And then we're actually gonna take 2 of those. And then we're gonna take a tile with 1 stud and put that together like that. Then this is gonna connect to the bottom of the base, just like that. And right here, this is the lens mount, and this is where the lens will go. Now behind the lens mount, we're gonna put a handle. I'm not exactly sure what this piece is called, but I guess you could call it a handle piece. I'm not sure, but it's a 1x1 brick with a little handle coming out of it. And so that's gonna go right over here on the bottom of the base, like that. And this is basically just a grip for the camera, and sometimes it will have some buttons on it to help you reach some of the functions of the camera without having to, go to the monitor to change the settings. A lot of people will build out the Red Cinema cameras with a handle like this one. Now, I'm also not a Red Cinema camera pro kind of person. I just know a little bit about them, and I've used one once before, so I don't know all the correct names, so forgive me if I'm not calling everything what it's supposed to be called. And if you do know what something is supposed to be called, then please do let me know in the comments below. Okay, now on the other side, opposite the handle, we'll just put in a single 1x1, just to kind of fill up the space a little bit. And then on the back, we'll take this little, I'm not really sure what this is actually. It's a 2x1, and it has these little edges on it. And we'll put that in like that. Now it doesn't really matter whether you do it this way or with the lines going up and down, but I prefer it with the lines going side to side because it just looks cleaner in my opinion. And now we're just gonna add a little vent to the top of the camera right above here. And by the way, I did not say this, but this is actually a battery pack, and on a lot of Red Cinema cameras, the battery will be placed in the back like this. And that's also what this little vent is for, to cool down the battery. And it's also to cool down other parts of the camera. Now in front of the vent, we're gonna put a 2x1 with a single stud, and that's a tile piece. And then in front of that, we are going to put one of these clip pieces, and that's a 1x1 clip. That will go like that, and that will go so that the clip will be able to hold one of these types of pieces so that it can go this way. So make sure you get it the right way. And then for the extra stud, I like to cover as many studs as I can because I think it does make it look more clean. So I'm just gonna put a 1x1 tile and slide it in right over there. And next we're just gonna add the follow focus system. So first we'll add the little thing for the rails to come out of. And that goes on like that. And by the way, this is just a 2x1 piece with a little bar coming out of it. And it's a special one where it has the two little connectors right there, rather than the other one that looks like this, that is just a straight bar. So make sure it's the right piece. And if you don't have the exact same pieces, don't worry, you can substitute it with whatever you have, of course. By the way, if you are enjoying this build so far, please let me know in the comments any ideas you have for future builds that I could do on this channel. That would be so helpful. And then next, we're gonna add on the little rails. So for these, we're just using these little wrenches and put one on one side and one on the other side, just like that. And what this does is that it allows you to place something in front of the lens. So you could place follow focus system if you want to do remote focusing or remote zooming, or you could put a matte box on the end. And this just gives you a lot of freedom to kind of add onto the lens and build out the lens a little more than you would be able to do with a standard DSLR camera. Next, I'm just gonna add this little piece right here, and this makes it more have the shape of what an actual Red Monstro cinema camera looks like. Okay, now next we're going to add the monitor. So to do this, we'll take this 2x1 piece with the little bar coming out of it and just snap that into the clip like that, and it should stay pretty firmly. And actually, I got it the wrong way. Make sure that the side that does not have any studs faces towards the back of the camera. So the studs will face towards the front and that will face towards the back. This way you can attach the little clear 2x1 to make the monitor. Next we're going to add a handle, and for this I used this sort of wrench piece. I'm not really sure what it is. It's different from the wrench pieces that we used for the follow focus, or the rails I mean. It's not the same piece, but it's pretty similar. It just has a stud so you can mount it on to a stud. So just pop it on right there, and then if you want you can add a little red 1x1 circular tile to the top. And a lot of cinema cameras will have, like I said earlier, they'll have a handle, and sometimes on the side and sometimes on the top, and sometimes they'll even have a record button on it so that you don't have to reach over to the monitor every time you want to record. I did mess up a little bit on the build, so if you want to add a viewfinder, you'll have to take off the monitor, take off the tile, and then just slide the clip to the other side, and then put the viewfinder where the clip was, and then put the clip back in place. Oh, wait, what? Okay, I'm getting this all wrong. So actually, you have to put the viewfinder piece on, which is this little, not really sure what this is at all, but it's this little 1x1 with a little circular kind of thing on the end. And then put that on one side. Then put a tile on the other side, like we had earlier. And then put the monitor on top of the viewfinder, like that. Whew. Now next, you just have to add on this little wedge piece. This is just a 1x1 wedge, and add that to the back of the viewfinder, because viewfinders sometimes will have this little shape like that. And then you can add on just a little tile like this to make the viewfinder a little bit bigger. And then finally, the clear piece so that it actually looks like a viewfinder would. And now we are done with the body of the camera, so we're gonna have to go and build the lenses. And so let's just run over this. There's the viewfinder, we've got the handle, the monitor, battery, vent, rails, lens mount, handle, and now we can move on to the lenses. So for the lenses, there's 3 of them: wide angle, the Laowa 24mm probe lens, and this kind of generic 24-70 kind of style lens. And let's start with the 24-70 on the left. And to build this, it's basically just a 1x1 cylinder with a clear piece, and then just a tile for the lens cap, a 1x1 tile. And those are all circular because you can't have a square lens. And then over here, we've got the Laowa probe lens. This is actually a very unique design that it's very simple, but I just thought of it while I was building the camera, and I thought, you know, I'll just make it. So it's a little cone and then just a bar, and that's all. You just slide the bar into the top of the cone, and you've got a probe lens, and it looks really cool. And then here is the final lens. Again, it's a cylinder, and it's also a clear piece and a different lens cap. It's a gold lens cap because gold is cool. And then I took a little tire, a very small tire actually, and I put that right over the top of the clear piece. And then I put the cylinder like that. And this can either be a follow focus gear, or it could just be a wide angle lens. It depends on what you see it as. So now we can just go ahead and let's pop the probe lens on, and here we go. So now you have a red cinema camera out of Lego, and you don't have to actually go buy a $50,000 camera. Now you should definitely check out some other builds that I've done, especially one like this rig that is both super fun to build and it's also very practical. If you found this video especially valuable, subscribe right here. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you in the next one.